standpoint, what we mean when we say I got married is a state agency. It's been created by the state. Like this is a legal status that most people who are in it know nothing about. They just did the most legally significant thing they're ever going to do other than dying. And they have no idea what rights and obligations it created in them. And the first time they're going to get an education about it is in my office. That's crazy.
Wow. When they get divorced.
That's crazy.
And so prenup is an opportunity to learn something about it at the start.
So first of all, whenever someone approaches me about prenups, and that's like 4 or 5 times a week probably, depending on the season. Right before wedding season, we get a lot.
When's wedding season?
Well, it used to just be the summer. You know, they say when you marry in June, you're a bride all your life. That's from some Rodgers and Hammerstein musical. Now the fall is very big too. People love fall content, fall weddings, pretty, pictures and things.
Content.
Yeah, fall content.
It's good on the
Hashtag
gram.
Fall content. Yeah,
all right.
For the gram.
That's a hashtag.
Weddings is for the gram. I had to tell you, weddings is performative, man. See, the problem is though, it's curated. So you'd say, here's us picking the cake. It's not here's us doing the prenup.
Exactly.
You know how many people I've done prenups for that I've watched on their social media or them being interviewed by Andy Cohen on Bravo and saying, well, no, we don't have a prenup. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You do. It's in my office. It's in a folder.
Yeah.
They have a prenup.
No, that's beautiful.
But prenup.
Why would they lie about having a prenup? Because they're more interested and will care about what other people will say and will judge them for having a prenup. This is crazy. But I mean, the reason why you get a prenup is for the benefits, right? So why would you be ashamed to say you have a prenup? Interesting.
Prenups are not published anyplace. They're not filed with a court. They're maintained by the 2 people that signed it and their lawyers. That's it. So nobody has to admit that they have a prenup.
Beautiful.
But there's a certain problem with that insofar as a lot of people have prenups and we need to normalize prenups.
Yeah.
Like there's no reason not to normalize prenups. There's no reason not for until some famous people say, yeah, we have a prenup. We're crazy about each other. That's why we're getting married, but yeah, look, we're getting, I don't want to get a car accident, but I got a seatbelt, you have it just in case.
And, I mean, what do you do if you're running a company? Like what does that have to do with a prenup? You're running a $100 billion or $1 trillion company, Jeff Bezos. I suppose his marriage was before Amazon.
Yeah, his was before it was anything.
But like, how does that work in a prenup? Like,
well, no, actually, it's the same. I mean, what you're doing with a prenup is you're identifying how things will be classified in advance. So you're creating a set of rules, and then you both can function under those rules during the marriage. So for a brief time, I taught a family law drafting class at a law school. And when we would do separation agreements and we would do pleadings, it was lots of fun. When we would do prenups, I would say to the students, what's the main thing you need when you're doing a prenup? And they would say, well, you need asset disclosure. And I'd say, well, that's not the main thing. And they'd say, well, you need, technical language. I'd say, nope. Main thing you need is a crystal ball. The main thing you need is the ability to see what's going to happen in the future. Who's going to have money, who's not, who's going to be successful, who isn't, what people will inherit. Problem is, we don't have that.
Right.
We don't have that. So what can we do? We can create tranches. We can create structures. We can create systems. And then people can live with those in mind. You enter the game knowing the rules, right? So if this is going to be a submission-only event. If this is going to be no time limit. If we're after a certain number of minutes, we're going into points now, okay? So I can work with that rule set, and I'm going to amend my game based on that rule set. Same thing. You're just going to say, look, what's the rule set? Let's agree on the rule set. And then let's conduct ourselves with the rule set in mind. Let's plan with the rule set in mind. And I think that, and by the way, and if you're going to cheat, you cheat with the rule set in mind. You're cheating, right? You're trying to get around the rule set. So prenups are, when I do a consult for a prenup, the first thing I do is, here's what's going to happen legally if you marry without a prenup. Here's what happens to your rights and obligations.
Right.
Then what we can change with that, there's almost no limit. You can amend anything you want to. The example I always give is there was a case that went up to the appellate court where a high net worth guy married a very beautiful woman. And there was a provision in the prenuptial agreement that said for every 10 pounds she gained during the marriage, she would lose $10,000 a month in alimony if they divorced.